Fast forward, ini komo all channel so ha age politics abli. Podcast of trending make headlines na jemre na ili bi eksumo ni dim ya raksi mo munia. Be shock say yanko political how we sin be jadam inya asem koto akra na ye bo euro MPP amayikuru aso ye Dr. Bawumia ne running mate ho insensama na me no kasai. Ebinum se adwo asafo. Ebinum se napo wayi no atonchen. Ebinum se Afenyo Markins. Na onia we na Afenyo Markins ababonten de nanu disem efa eye Bawumia running mate no aba se ono de woni tremu pobia se ono no obeye eye running mate ama eye Dr. Bawumia na wowo empanyimfo nimdifo a omu esefata sa janabia no as running mate ema Dr. Bawumia Afenyo Markins and ekase na G1 TV mada woma na motimi de flyer na babonten so a onia e project na ilibi exumbo na eno na ekase I have no intention of being Dr. Bawumia's running mate. MPP has seniors who better fit the role. I am not over ambitious. Afenyo Markins. The stock say Yamura in simple from me. I get demon so oh, Onia, any asemoto. AG politics urban.
Absolutely. Because you see, as I mentioned, when you read the other parts of the indictment, it is Beku himself who mentioned those things that they've paid money to X, Y, and Z, right? And the FBI have taken it. The FBI know that if they don't help us to establish these payments, they themselves, their credibility will be ruined. They know that very well. They know that very well. And they won't want their credibility to be ruined over such a small matter. No, there are instances where, being a nation, they also do quid pro quo, etc. And in this case, the quid pro quo will be that to be good for their own image, that they come forward to assist us to establish that. Otherwise, if they don't help us to establish who the money was paid to, then the question would be that on what basis was Berko convicted in the US? Yes, that's $1 million question. If the FBI doesn't help us with the information they have, etc., and if it were to turn out that Ghana cannot prove that 1 million was paid, then quickly it will call into question the very trial and conviction of Berko in the US. You see, so in this case, we are joined at the hip. Ghana and the US are joined at the hip. So I'm sure they are going to help us. You see, even in their own statement, they acknowledge the work done by the Attorney General, Yoko, etc. Right? So they know that it is time for them to help us. It's not even actually helping us aside. It's time for them to further their own interests. Yes, by giving that evidence so that the thing will go down the value chain. Otherwise, if we lose. That's if we fail to prove 1 million was paid, then quickly it will be that, then how was he convicted? How was Beko convicted in the US? And they won't sit down for that to happen. Yes, the FBI won't sit down for that to happen.
And Mesano, that's the and on the back of what Lamatic people just said, and you were earlier saying that to the extent that we'll have to prove that monies were paid, the FBI will definitely not go on that path of. In fact, the courts will not convict Asante Kweku Beko if there was no evidence beyond reasonable doubt. In fact, convicting him on all the counts. The charges include foreign bribery conspiracy, foreign bribery violations, money laundering conspiracy. I mean, these are charges that cannot just be slapped on a person and conviction secured without enough evidence as to just being beyond the allegation to establish that indeed monies were paid.
Yeah, Alfred, I'm just doing my analytical things here. Right. If it was the lawyers involved in this. Listen, Asante Berko is being convicted on his own admission because in his own private Gmail address, they were able to, and that I think was the critical part of how they got the evidence, that he avoided using the corporate email, but used his own email. And right there, the information as he was going on, things that were happening today, this and so on and so forth. Now, on his own admission, therefore, he had the money and he was paying people. That in itself, in terms of the ethical conduct, the policies, and the legal framework, was enough to get him convicted. But whether he actually paid those monies to a third party is something that is deniable by that third party. And it's to that extent that you then need somebody to corroborate that it was received, it was not received. So I'm just saying that, yes, there's a lot going on if the U.S. has that additional information there, but you need a witness to corroborate it. And in my understanding of what transpired, they actually had to get a witness from Ghana who went there. There was a lot of negotiation to establish this even against Asante Berko himself. These are not simple things. Even getting him extradited from the UK to the US, that was about a year and a half, because he was arguing that he's a Ghanaian citizen, he should rather be brought to Ghana and so on and so forth. So I am saying, yes, it is important that our anti-corruption agencies get into this matter, try and get to the bottom of it, because there's enough information. I'm just saying that proving it is another ball game, and I wish we have the wherewithal, because I believe Americans played a lot of hardball to ensure that they got this guy,
But to the extent that the Attorney General in their statement, IOCO in their statement, OSP, all three institutions say they actually helped or collaborated with the FBI at some point in investigating this matter. As we are also coming to investigate outside of things to establish which individuals, all of these persons listed here, who exactly are they? The identities behind them. The FBI should also be helping us, is it not, if they have the real identities of these people?
Identities, I think we all have a very good sense of, because yes, like you pointed out, from travel records, hotel records, the ministry records, you'll be able to establish things. So, but just like Minister Donko has said, his lawyer has written saying, I have not met this person before, I have no transactions and so forth. You now have to prove that did they actually receive these payments or not. So I'm just saying, let's separate the two things. The identities, I don't think that's going to be very difficult to establish. Now get to the point of did they receive money where might not be as simple. And it's, if you've been following cases in Ghana, you understand what I'm saying. There've been so many times where they've gone to court and lost their cases that you ask yourself, why did they lose their cases? And you find out that there's a certain threshold that our courts are looking for. So I'm just saying, yes, we might identify the people, but it may not be as easy when it gets to the cases themselves. We need other witnesses.
I see. And will there be any strong basis for the point that Mezano makes? He's bringing a divergent view on it, that the absence of, for instance, witnesses to corroborate whether these persons received the money or not could impact on the threshold of the evidence in this report by the FBI, which actually led to the conviction of Asante Berko.
Oh, they know the names of the officials, but they just didn't want to prejudice anything. That's how come they didn't reveal the names at that stage. So, like I keep saying, no, those, of course, why not? It's a society, so it's good that people ask questions. So all I'm saying is that if the FBI doesn't help us and these investigations lead to nothing, as I said, it will call into question what was done in the US. And the FBI is not about to allow that to happen. So people should hold their horses, let the investigations go on. I'm sure with time, we would get it.
I say, let me bring in talk with Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. He's a statesman, also following this case quite closely. Togwi, appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. And Mesano, stay with me. Togwi, thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. This is an issue as well that you have been following quite closely right from the day the conviction of Asante Berko was made public. Now, reading what we have just put out there, quite concerning, you would say?
No, it's quite clear that offense has been committed, and definitely there are people who can be held responsible for this. Now, to me, the most important point is that the case that was held outside the borders of this country have mentioned certain names, and these names should not be withheld, should be known by the public. And if Iyoko and OSP have been able, or finally go into this, and I believe strongly they will agree with what has been said in the US court. And all those involved, I say all those, there shouldn't be any person who would be shielded on this in particular. There shouldn't be all those involved. In the allegation, demand transparency, and there shouldn't be any selective justice whatsoever. Because where we are going now, I keep on saying, I get worried day in and day out. If this really happened, and the most disturbing thing to me also is that the gentleman, Asante Beku, is supposed to be a dual citizen. He has got dual citizen. So if he has not been held or arrested in UK as far back as I think 2020 or so, 2022, I believe, and sent to the US in 2022 and investigated thoroughly and found out to be guilty, the same thing should be done here. The same thing should be done here. We are getting sick and tired of this. I keep on saying we are walking daily into danger. I see it because I've seen it before. The corruption is becoming a norm now, and it is dangerous. It is dangerous. Public office is a public office, and it is the public trust. We must be careful how we go about it. Now, another point of interest also, this same Beku, I believe I'm not mistaken, is the one appointed by Akufo-Addo as store MD or whatever position he held. Now, you ask yourself one simple question. Are these individuals not checked by our national security before they are given positions, very important and sensitive positions in this country? Or they are being advised, national security are being advising them, and government ignores it, which is also possible. And finally, what has disturbed me greatly is the fact that members of parliament, lawmakers of this great nation, have been compromised with just 46,000 US dollars. That is frightening. Which follows our MPs can easily be very easily be what.
That is very, very sorry. Unfortunately, we lost Togbi Dr. Nyao Tamaklo there. We'll try to raise him back. Togbi, you were making a point. I think there was a break in your connection. Yeah.
Is the fact that our lawmakers can be bribed with 46,000 US dollars and pass dangerous bill. It is a shame. I'm really worried because it appears we really don't know where we are going. Corruption appears to have taken a firm position now. And only God knows who can stop it now. But I know
Right.
it can be stopped.
Great there. Talk with Dr. Mesano. Now, the OSP, Yoko, all issued a statement earlier today indicating they are going to, Mesano, if you can hear me, indicating they're going to get into this matter. Very briefly, what's your expectation of them and in the coming days? Quickly.
Well, I think it's good to have as many as they believe their mandate covers. Sometimes the different angles and whatnot ensures that you get traction. But I think as soon as possible, it would be good to have some substantive feedback from them, perhaps by the end of the month, as to what exactly they expect to be doing and some anticipated timelines. Especially for those who already collaborated with the Department of Justice. Clearly, they must have a head start and understanding of the context, and therefore they are not starting from scratch. Hopefully, they should be able to give us some traction. Yeah.
Right. I thank you very much. And Lawyer Martin Bebo, finally, I mean, you do know we don't have too good a record when you're investigating some of these matters of international interest. We recall the Mabi and Johnson matter, Airbus, the Cosmos Energy, EO Group issues, and now this one. What are your expectations?
We in some hero team course or channel so, Mammy and our soldier, that's an so body that will be a media. Give us an assume.